So in the previous two videos we've explained what's happening with the boat and also like what you'll be looking for with the blade. This video is taking you through how you can impact that with your body. The first point about the body that's really important to note is that we want to be using our really big large muscle groups to propel the boat forwards. So in canoe specifically we're talking lats, pecs, but also our glutes and our hamstrings, and all of these need to be really driving the boat forward all the time. To get all these large muscle groups working together is obviously super important that the athlete also has a really strong core and trunk, and that they're using these all the time within the stroke. Second thing when looking at the body and how that impacts technique within the canoe is minimising power leaks. Number one for me that you really want to look at is anything happening in the top shoulder as an athlete's paddling. Definitely something around the hips, but then just with the amount of movement that there's lots of room for leakage, and it's just about minimising them. So once we've got our athletes using those large muscle groups and they're starting to minimise those power leaks, the next step for me is really about them getting the right rhythm to their stroke. And rhythm really is just about them sequencing the stroke in the right time. And the key bit of that for me is that they're using their hips in the right way. Essentially the main thing to remember around the hips is that they lead everything in the stroke. So they propel and move you forwards. They drive the stroke in the first part of the rotation, and they also drive you in the counter rotation. So when we're talking about sequencing and developing rhythm, it all starts from the hips. So within the technical model, it's really important that an athlete's created their individual solutions. We're not really driving anybody to a specific angle or a specific position. It's all around how they can make the positions and propel the boat forward. But the one note of caution is that it needs to be an individual solution and not a compensation. If like a young athlete is compensating because they've got a problem with the shoulder or how they're moving, then that really needs to be looked at and assessed and dealt with, potentially not even on the water but on land.